Today's section is Keeping You Composure by JethroCool. Like, so the link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out. So let's do this section in 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today, keeping your composure.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the good, the bad,
The good, the bad.
neutral, everything in between,
neutral.
about the idea of keeping your composure in situations, in life in general, how you can do it, what are the benefits, what are the drawbacks, everything like that. First of all, composure. What is it? Composure is the ability to remain neutral or to not allow your temporary emotions to affect a situation.
Yeah.
For example, say you're in a stressful situation, maybe
Yeah.
in my case, like a dinner or a crowded area or whatever, and you are confronted with someone you don't like, someone you really just cannot stand, makes your teeth just on edge.
Wow, really?
And instead of calling them out or getting them frustrated or, scolding them or bullying them or letting them affect you, like maybe they're bullying you.
Yeah.
Instead of expressing what you truly feel in that moment, you are able to keep it calm, keep it relaxed,
Keep it calm.
not focus on it, and you're able to basically prevent anyone from realizing your true feelings towards this person. You're essentially blocking out these emotions that you feel in order to get through the situation as painlessly as possible, hopefully.
Hopefully.
So that's what composure is. I think there can be some real benefits of composure. I think we've all been in situations, maybe it's around the Thanksgiving table, maybe it is at a family holiday in general, maybe it is when you're arguing with your parents or a friend or a loved one, and you take the executive decision to just zone in, to focus, and to not allow the person to get a rise out of you, to make you angry or sad or mad, or to let those emotions be shown to them and to the people around you. I think I'm quite good at this. I think most people are in general. I think the clips that go viral of people on the subway who lose their minds and things, they are really good examples of people who are unable to keep their composure. They're unable to just lock in and focus and not let external things affect you. In a way, it's a very Stoic idea. The Stoics were a group of philosophers that lived in ancient Greece, mostly ancient Rome, and they believed that your emotions were these temporary, surface-level things that misguide your judgment, they lead to bad choices, they lead to hasty decisions, and all kinds of problems. And so in Stoicism, the idea is to manage your composure, to really think about why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and to not let it really bubble up to the surface, not let it explode.
Yeah.
And in many ways, Stoicism is a very trendy kind of philosophy. It's very trendy to sort of try and be this stoic, quiet, graceful figure. But I think Stoicism in general has been misinterpreted by a lot of people in recent decades. Stoicism is about keeping your composure, but also being very thoughtful internally and to think about things in a nuanced, detailed kind of way. And like I said, a lot of people who claim to be Stoics nowadays are not. They're using it as some kind of social capital or a way of just appearing like they know what they're doing and that they are somehow superior to everyone else who lets their emotions run freely. That being said, I do think keeping your composure in a multitude of situations is probably a good thing. I don't think it's necessarily unhealthy or bad for you to just avoid that one uncle and don't let him get you into a debate about politics or religion or medicine or whatever it is. Just avoid, keep your mouth shut. and you just move on. You know, you don't
Yeah.
tempt them. It's almost like they're trying to trap you in this conversation
Yeah.
because they want the debate. They want the pointless argument. They want the fight. They want everyone at the table to feel uncomfortable. They really feed off of that kind of uncomfortability. And if you can genuinely keep your composure and just brush them off as someone who is very irrelevant to the way you live your life and the way that you believe, that is generally, in my opinion, one of the healthiest things you can do, because further provoking or trying to get into a heated discussion tends to make you the loser of the situation.
Oh, really?
There's this idea in debate when you're debating with someone that once the person you're debating loses their composure, they lose their chill, they've lost. You know, so if you're having a debate with someone and you're able to quietly and clearly acutiate or eloquently say your views, you're able to just put it out on the table emotionless, but also with clear-cut ideas. And the other person is blowing up in your face, calling you bad names, you know, referring to you as our favorite, or I should say our least favorite World War II figure, because it always comes to name calling. If you
Really?
can let them do that and explode and you keep your composure, you've clearly won the debate. You've clearly won this situation and this issue. And so that is the positives of composure. That is the good stuff. The neutral stuff, it's really just down to your preference. In certain situations, you get to choose whether you want to be a bit more emotional, be a bit more connecting with people.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you keep your composure, it can be much harder to really connect with someone in a relationship.
Yeah.
If you're having like a big debate about your relationship, if you're partners, and you're going to keep your composure the whole time, they might just think of you as some animatronic robot who doesn't actually care that much. If you're just, you know, if you're talking about issues you have as a couple and you're just sort of answering very matter of fact, keeping your composure, your partner might find that really unsettling and really strange.
Really?
And I think people on the spectrum have kind of a difficult time with this because if I'm being honest with you, when
Yeah.
I've been in relationships and there's been an issue, I'll start talking very matter of fact and I'll bring up, you know, anecdotal evidence, recent experiences, and I'm able to convey all of that in a very matter of fact, composed way. And I don't think any of my partners have really responded to that positively. You know,
Oh, really?
typically the name calling starts, it's like, you're a heartless robot. And while I like to
Yeah.
think that I'm not a heartless robot, it does sound as though I am. So it's kind of a neutral, but you get to choose when to keep your composure and when to maybe express a little bit more and maybe meet people on a human level. The negative sides of composure are typically talked about when you're talking about people who are type A, you know, these very big, braggadocious people who want to get up in your face. You know, they're saying, no, you can't keep your composure. Life is this endless emotional roller coaster, and by keeping your composure, you are holding back. You are not truly living and experiencing
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And you guys know me, that really isn't my perspective, but I can appreciate that perspective. The idea that keeping your composure is somehow fake, somehow you're not living to your fullest. There's lots of ways that people express the downsides of keeping your cool and keeping your composure. They say it's disingenuous. They say actually you're lying. You don't feel the way you're expressing. You're just trying to keep your composure for, you know, this idea of being a stoic or this idea of not letting people get a rise out of you. And some people would argue, no, let them know that they're getting a rise out of you. Let them see the emotions that you are feeling and expressing. Full force. Hit them with all the emotions. Cry, scream, yell, shout, you know, jump for joy, laugh.
Tempo,
Don't keep your composure, because if you're feeling something, you should express it. And this is a big
Yeah.
debate. Hollywood would like to tell you that you should never keep your composure. You should always be this huge, explosive main character who is outraged and finds things hilarious and finds disgust in things. And you should show that. You should be honest.
Yeah.
So the negative side of composure is really just a very subjective thing, you know. If you want to feel as though you're being real, you're being
Being
100%
real.
real, and you're going to
One
show them who
one
you are,
percent real. Yeah.
by all means, go for it.
Yeah. Go
But
for it. Yeah.
if you choose to keep your composure, there's nothing wrong with it. People will
Yeah.
say you're acting like a robot or you seem detached from the
Yeah.
situation. And maybe sometimes you do need to be detached. Maybe sometimes not showing the surface level emotions is a net benefit to the conversation, and maybe that finds some answers that you wouldn't have found otherwise.
Yeah.
So really, it comes down to preference. Personally, I prefer to keep my composure in social situations when I'm with people that I really love and who I know love me. I can lower that composure a little bit. I think every introvert knows this innately. Um, I think we all know someone who is a big time introvert in public. Like, they're very quiet, they're very shy, but you get them behind closed doors and with a group of people they love, and they are the funniest, most energetic, joyous, expressive people you know. So, as an introvert, I'm gonna say it's absolutely fine to keep your composure.
Yeah.
If you are a outgoing extrovert and you show your emotions on your sleeve, I have friends like this. I love them very much. That is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with deciding to not be composed and, just to feel things raw and as they happen. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, it is a choice. You should never let somebody try and manipulate your composure or try and call you out for acting one way or another. But it all comes down to just being compassionate and understanding of other people and how they interact. Don't call them a lifeless robot. Don't call them an
Yeah.
expressive drama queen,
Drama
because
queen.
people are all handling their
Drama
emotions
queen.
as best as they can, and to make fun of or call out people for behaving that way is quite inappropriate. If you cannot converse with me on a human level with
Yeah.
respect and compassion, I'm gonna keep my composure and I'm probably not gonna see this person again. That's how it works. So that is keeping your composure. Thank you guys for listening. I'd love to know your thoughts on this idea, this concept, trying to hold
Yeah.
your emotions in, or maybe just think more thoughtfully about how you express them.
Yeah.
I
Expect him.
think
Yeah.
it's very interesting. So,
Individual.
as always, I hope you're having a beautiful day, week, month, year, century, millennium, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Expect him. Yeah. So keeping your composure by text through that. Yeah. We always you keep our composure legally. Yeah. The link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out and drop a like if you like, and comment below if you want to see more reaction like this one, and subscribe if you're new, and click the bell so you can be notified when I upload in my bye. Wow.